And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another video game review. And today, finally, here's my review of Mario and Luigi Brothership, the newest Mario and Luigi game released at the time of this video going up about a little over a week ago. And I tried to get through this game as quickly as possible so I could get this review up as quickly as possible. I know I'm a few days behind a lot of the other big people who have already reviewed the game, but you know what? This is not my full-time job, so I can't devote all my time to playing this game. That's why it took me as long. But yeah, I mean, I pre-ordered it. I got it on day of release. I got the cool pins that came with it with the Best Buy pre-order, which was cool. I should have kept them for the review. They're in my room. Forgot to grab them. Oops. But they're cool looking. And I was kind of excited to see what they were going to do with the new Mario and Luigi game, because I really didn't think there was going to be another one, but there is. Obviously, there is another one. And for me, as somebody who obviously is not always been the most fond of the Mario and Luigi games, I think I've played every one except the first one, which I think is Superstar Saga, if I remember. That I think that's the only one I haven't played in the lineup. But holy moly, here we go. I got a lot of thoughts, so let's just jump right into it, shall we? I first want to talk about how I'm not going to talk about what I think a lot of other people are criticizing about the game, which is like frame rate and all that sort of stuff, because I didn't really notice any problems with the frame rate or anything, or like long loading screens or anything like that. I thought the graphics were a little cartoony compared to other Mario and Luigi games. They do look a little funky in some places, but otherwise, I think they looked fine. I didn't think they looked that bad. I think the environments look cool. I like the tropical theme with the being out in the sea and whatnot. That was pretty nice. But I am going to talk about how this is the first Mario and Luigi game to not be on an exclusively on a handheld. It was start with the GBA, then went to the DS, and then the 3DS. Now we got one on the Switch, which means I can play it on my big TV down here, instead of always on a tiny little DS or 3DS hunched over in the corner playing the game. And I think, and even playing it handheld mode on the Switch was a lot of fun. I gotta say, having it on the bigger console, I think, did wonders for my experience with this game versus the other Mario and Luigi games. It fits so well. I think the button placements work better for the combat, and overall, I think I just had a more fun experience being able to be a little more immersed into the game with a larger screen. I think that worked really, really well. So I think if they do continue making Mario and Luigi games, which a lot of people are saying that this is going to be the last one, some people are saying it's not. They're waiting on sales and whatnot. We'll see. But if they continue, I think they cannot just go straight handheld anymore. Obviously, they won't, because we just switch. But I think for a lot of people who may have been in a complaint where it's just like too little, it doesn't fit well on the exclusively handheld, you should try this game, because I think you will be surprised and pleased. I also do like that Luigi is much more respected now. It feels more like, as far as like the games go, this feels more of like a actual, like, they are more equal as compared to past Mario and Luigi games. I know that they always work together, but it always feels like Luigi's always just kind of like the butt of a lot of jokes in the previous games. Not so much in this one, which is really, really good. They work a lot well together. Obviously, I think there's a little bit of disrespect towards Luigi with how you can't really control him exclusively anymore, which kind of sucks. So there's that, and kind of stuff with the controls for Luigi where you have to press A in order to select your attacks, but then B to actually do the attacks. That's pretty weird. That's a little, why, Nintendo? Why did you do that? And it didn't really make any sense to me. But I think, you introduce other things about Luigi, like the Luigi logic. Oh my god, the Luigi logic is so funny. My favorite time we used Luigi logic was probably the second Bowser boss fight, because it's like Bowser's all gloomed up or gloamed up. I don't know how you pronounce it, gloam or gloom or whatever. And he's he's all mean, large, and intense, and this is like a death-defying battle. And it's just like, the world's about to end. And then, like, partway through this really intense fight, we just get, leave it to me, and we just get the ship and starts fucking shooting the fuck out of him. It's so funny. I love it. Oh, it's so good. The Luigi logic is really, really cool and adds a little bit of extra nice, refreshing changes to the battles. I think they were really cool. I wish they would have been a little bit more adapted. Only a few of the boss fights had Luigi logic in them. Like the first Bowser fight didn't. The final boss, I guess, technically did. Kind of, not really though. A couple of the smaller ones did, but not many of them. So that kind of sucked. But for what we did get with Luigi logic, I think it was really, really good. As far as, kind of working through, I want to talk about some of the other characters that you see in this game, because there are some recurring characters too. I was honestly really surprised that we didn't have to always rescue Peach. They kind of went away with that direction, and honestly I kind of liked it because we got to see more character from Peach, which I think was really, really cool. Starlow's also back, but Starlow's not our sidekick, she's Peach's sidekick. Now we have this other guy called Snoutlet, which Snoutlet's pretty fun. I like Snoutlet. As far as there's a few other side characters and whatnot. There's a guy that they make look like Elvis, called the Groovemaster. He's pretty cool. I really liked him. And we get some other recurring characters like Birdo. What the fuck is Birdo doing in this game? What a callback that is, huh? Fucking Birdo. And of course there's a Bros attack that has Yoshi in it, so we can see Yoshi. The Toads are back, obviously. So there you go. And of course, Bowser Jr., all of them as well as the Zoklot enemy and Reclusa, I think that's how you say their names. And then of course the Extension Corps is, those are like the big bosses, other than Bowser, obviously. I think this is a kind of a good cast of characters. I think they're all fine. Some of them do feel kind of just like they don't really provide a whole lot to the scene. Some of the smaller characters I found were just very needy and annoying, which is another thing that I really am not happy that they translated from other Mario and Luigi games. It's just like and I'll get to this more a little bit later, but there's just a lot of times where I felt like the tasks that we had to do was unnecessarily complicated because of some really, really stupid preferences that we were forced to work with. One that I'll talk about in particular is the one when we're on the Twisty Island the first time and we got to reunite this lady with her shop because she's lost in the jungle, and we carry her through the jungle, and she's deathly afraid of bugs, so she doesn't want to touch any bugs, so that's why we carry her. But if Mario or Luigi also touches a bug but doesn't touch her, we have to go all the way back to the beginning of the path. Okay, if Mario and Luigi touch a bug, why the fuck do you care? They don't touch you. We see you get up close and personal bugs when we first meet you. The fuck? That really pissed me off. But yeah, all the other characters I thought were pretty cool otherwise, mostly. And I do like kind of some of the other callbacks to previous games, like some of the attacks are from previous games, like we get the Bomb Derby back. I love the Bomb Derby in this game compared to Dream Team. I think it's really, really good. And a few others that we get back to, of course, like staples, like the shell attacks and whatnot too. But I was also for the combat. I think another really good thing with the combat is the battle plugs. I love the battle plugs because they kind of even up the battles a little bit. Because I will say the boss fights, in my opinion, are actually easier than the common enemy battles. Yeah, you heard that right. I think the boss fights they're also a lot more well designed. They're a lot more fun, and it's really, really cool that like they do a lot of these things. For what I thought was the final boss, the Reclusa boss fight, the first boss fight with Reclusa, I thought was the actual final boss where we're flying on the plug and we got to shoot the fireballs and whatnot. That was cool. Sadly, that was not the actual final boss. But the actual final boss battle is not as fun because it's multiple phases, and you have to go back to the really annoying mechanics that we get early on in the game, that we thought we're done with. But that's okay. But the battle plugs, what I'm saying is that they really help add a lot of strategy. You don't always have to spend a turn healing anymore. You don't always have to spend a turn using a 1-up. You don't always have to spend a turn, you can add extra power onto your attacks. You can fucking have the attacks done for you, the bros attacks done for you with the auto excellent one, which I think was my favorite one, because there were a lot of bros attacks, especially later on in the game that we had introduced, that I thought were really hard to figure out, and I wasn't necessarily going to get excellent at all of them just because I didn't practice them enough, or I just couldn't understand a lot of it, because my reaction time isn't always the greatest, as some of you may know. But with the auto excellent, I can just fucking spam these attacks that I wouldn't do otherwise and do a shitload of damage onto the enemy and kick the shit out of them so much quicker and get through with it. I mean, it's only 5 turns that it lasts, and I do think some of these that you get for like 3 turns and then it takes like 20 turns to recharge them. What the fuck? That's a little unfair, isn't it? Especially for some that don't do a whole lot for you. But I thought the battle plugs overall were a lot of fun, and it was really cool. So really, really nice addition there. But for now, we can talk about traversing and the story. Story's pretty good. It does take a long time to pick up, though. A long time. And I think this is where I'm going to introduce probably my favorite character in the game, and that is Connie. I love Connie in this game. She is a very wholesome character. There were so many times that when shit started to hit the fan, I was like, oh, Connie's going to get gloomed. Something's going to happen to Connie. She's going to go batshit crazy and become an enemy or something like that. Like, it just felt like that was something that they were going to do, but that never happened. Connie was always just like the very reliable, trustworthy side character that we could always go to for help, and she would always help push the story along. Nothing ever happened to her, even when some of the other main characters had something bad happen to them. So that was really, really good. I really liked Connie in this game. I think they wrote Connie really well into the game. And her, story stuff is really, really cool to see and to watch throughout the game. And, kind of the story, it's okay. I mean, like I said, it does take a long time to pick up. But there are some cool, like, plot changes. What's it called? Plot twists. That's what I was trying to figure out. Plot twists. There's a lot of cool plot twists. And they do a lot of cool stuff with that. Especially near the end of the game. When trying to wrap everything together and learning about the Cosette lady and kind of all that sort of stuff. It's really, really good, I think. Some say it's maybe a little generic, but I say to hell with that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, So that was cool. I really do like the story, though. I think it's good. But let's talk about the fact that this game never wants to fucking end. So I poured damn near 40 hours into this game. 40 hours! Well, it's closer to 35, I guess. 35 hours! And that was only the main story. I really didn't do any side quests. I didn't do just a lot of running around and exploring at all. I pretty much just stuck straight to the main story. And it still took me near 40 hours to beat the game. For fuck's sakes, Nintendo. Do you think that's enough? I think the only game series that in average takes longer to beat than a Mario and Luigi game is Pokemon. And Pokemon is supposed to be long because the story doesn't mean shit in those games. You're supposed to just catch Pokemon and fucking fight them. That's why it takes so fucking long. Not in this fucking game. I don't see you catching fucking Birdos and throwing them out there to battle some Goombas or Toads and fight Bowser gloomed it up. Nobody ever fucking does that. So why the fuck does the story and there were so many times where this, like around the 20-some hour mark, there were so many times where this game could have just ended. I mean, there was so many points where it's like, oh, all right, let's go to the final area. And then some bullshit would happen and we'd be set back 3 hours. We get back there. Oh, let's go to the final area again. And then we got set back again. And then we have to go another 8 hours of grinding through the game. And then finally we get to the final area. Oh, but don't think the slow pacing is done just yet. No. Because we have to go through a fucking massive final area. What the fuck was that with all the putting the stuff on the pedestals? I mean, what the fuck? You want to talk about introducing some really hard common enemies at the very end of the game? At the very end of the fucking game. Seriously, what the fuck? And then, even in the final battle, we have to do a 3-phase battle with the fucking common enemies again. And they introduce these new ones that fucking dive into the ground and fucking blow up into these fungi that are just impossible to fucking defeat. That does give us one of the most badass video game scenes that I've ever seen, with when Mario and Luigi are seemingly cornered and dead. Bowser and Bowser Jr. just come in and fucking obliterate the place and save them. That is fucking awesome. Great scene right there. Just love that one. And then there's like, not even just like the end of the game. Throughout the entire game, there is a ton of stuff. Like the first time we beat Bowser, I didn't even feel like it was a good fight because Bowser, his kid gets kidnapped. Bowser Jr. just gets kidnapped. So, like, we beat Bowser up so that his kid could get kidnapped. Like, what the fuck? I didn't feel good about doing that. Like, why the fuck? Oh, that was and it was just like, damn. Fuck. And then there's the whole thing. I want to talk about the thing with the conductor as well. The conductor boss fight. I guess I can technically call it. I guess it's technically a boss fight, but with the fucking questions, I got to the second Mario one, and there's two that are both correct, and they look exactly the same. I picked both of them, and none of them are right. What the fuck? Is it supposed to be wrong? Am I supposed to be wrong? I don't know. And there's just like a bunch of unnecessary, adds on to just a bunch of unnecessarily fluff. The second Golbrum, or whatever the fuck, the rock guy, that second boss fight was completely unnecessary. The fighting the fucking all three guys of the Extension Corps, that was unnecessary as fuck. And why did they add the self-destruct thing at the end too? Okay, cool. Thanks for not telling us at all how the fuck to avoid that the first time. So when we get to the end of this very long and excruciating battle that we don't know when it's gonna fucking end, they just fucking blow us up and kill us. So we have to restart the whole thing even though they technically died. And then you add that onto the common enemies at the end of the game too. Thank you. There were just too many times where we just backtrack and just go through the same areas over and over and over again, talk to the same characters over and over and over again. And it was like around the 20-25 hour mark when that really started to get repetitive. It gets repetitive. I mean, when it really started to get repetitive, it technically starts to get repetitive around the 10-15 hour mark. But I digress. There was just, that's just annoying because that's another thing that they carried over from the Mario and Luigi games. I think this game's even worse than the other Mario and Luigi games as far as that. I think it took me not even 30 hours to beat Dream Team, and I got to almost, and that was with a ton of fuck ups. And this game, I didn't think I fucked up nearly as much, and it took me a lot longer to just beat the main story, which was annoying. And it really just kind of, you know, for a lot of people, this might be their first Mario and Luigi game because it's on a big console, and whatnot. And, you know, they look at the runtime and they see that, holy shit, I had to pour damn near a full work week into this game just to beat the main story. Why would anybody do that? That already isn't a Mario, hasn't already played a Mario Luigi game, or doesn't do this for their job, or, you know, isn't a huge Mario and Luigi fan. Who would do that? I don't know. It just is. It just feels more like a. It feels more like a test than necessarily a test of your endurance, a test of your patience, more so than just more of a casual gaming experience. So that kind of sucks. But overall, this is still a really good game. I think this is by far my favorite Mario and Luigi game. It's the only one that I mean, I got really pissed off at points with this game because of the backtracking, because of the annoying battles. There are way too many. Also, of course, another thing that they brought over from Mario and Luigi games, there are enemies every 2 steps you walk, and they take forever because they go first. Every time. They go first. They get you down to 1 health, and you can't get out of it unless you want to lose half your progress and go back to the title screen. So that's awesome. Yeah. We could have done away with about 60% of the enemies you just thrown into the game. Sorry. Yeah, we could have done that. Anyways, yeah, that's my review. I mean, it's still, like I said, it's still a really fun game. If you like the Mario and Luigi games before this, you're definitely going to like this one. And I think a lot of other people will like this game too. You just have to be prepared going in to know that it's a grind. It's not going to be a quickie adventure. You are going to pour at least 30 hours into this game, maybe more. And it depends on how good you are with the combat, how you want to do side quests, because there are some pretty intriguing side quests. I just never felt intrigued to do them because I was just ready for the game to be done, personally, which is, I don't think, anything that you should have. So, but for my final score for this game, what am I giving it? I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. It's really good. I really like the story. The environments are fun. It's a fun game. Way too long, way too many enemies, way too much backtracking. The combat can be annoying. And just overall a few other small things that just weren't really hashed out or didn't need to come back, in my opinion. So, but anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this review. You have played this game already or are in the process of playing it, let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. And if you're still on the fence on whether you should get, like I said, if you've played a Mario and Luigi game before, you must get this game because I think you will like it. And for other people who may think that is the runtime is something that they can tackle, get it. I think you will enjoy the experience. I think, but you have to just be ready for it. You have to be ready for it to be a long adventure. But if you were ready for that, get it. I think you will like it. So, but anyways, guys, it's going to do for this game review. Stay tuned for other much more amazing content, including more game reviews and other awesome stuff. And until next time, see you guys later. Goodbye.